Hello, here is Maya again from Lenormand course online, and you will know because we are going to talk about the Lenormand cards again. Namely about Lenormand card number 5, the tree. It is nice that you are watching my videos. I prefer to work with this card deck from the Lenormand. I think these are very beautifully drawn, which is why I work with it myself. If you start, it is better to start with a different card deck. I think you can buy it anywhere between 5 or 10 euros. That's the Mademoiselle Lenormand. That is a very good beginner's deck. I'm going to read aloud what can be seen at the tree card. I must say, not much. I'll just hold it up. On the tree card you see a tree with green leaves. Looks like it has been there for a while. A small crooked road leads to a few houses in the distance. In the medallion you see a heart 7. Have a look. It's a red card as you can see. I will say, you may be wondering, red, what is that? I will come back to that again in another video about whether you have red cards or a black card. I will get back to you. A brief description of the tree. The tree actually stands for health. That is something in the Lenormand often, which he often stands for. Physical health, mental health, very often he stands for or for the life energy that you have. That is usually the case. Whether you are well grounded. The HSP people can often get this card drawn, and then it is just useful. To ground you, say. To stand firmly in your shoes. I have to say for myself that I actually do not answer health questions. That's because I have agreed on a code of ethics, which is something I stick to. That is why it is impossible for me to answer that. Therefore it is impossible for me to answer this. Of course, I am not a doctor, so it is not advisable to just give prognoses or diagnoses. That's really something for a doctor to do. But even if you buy the decks, you can always start with that. Practice with that. Incidentally, I will draw those for myself. For the physical health, but what I do for friends and family is I can say a little bit if the relationship is stable or unstable. I can actually always see that clearly with that card when it is drawn. I use it for that. It's not like I put it aside and think, what, I can't use it. No, I just use it, but only for other purposes. The card is indeed, it can also stand for if you do not feel so good about yourself. Or that your relationship is not that good at the moment. It can also mean that the relationship is good, and that you can build on that relationship, right, like you can build on that. Then you have to look again at the cards that lie around it. Lying around the tree to make it clear what it means. It is also very important to think of at least one question in advance, which question do you want clarity about? This gives you much more insight into what is going to happen. And you are going to lay the Lenormand card with that. Okay, well, let's have a look. I'll take a look at what I haven't read yet. About the grands, the HSP, the highly sensitive persons, they know, okay, I will have to ground. I also wear 2 bracelets these days to ground myself more. I am also quite bothered by it. Yes, the card can also be for the HSP people who have, this can sometimes happen that you are somewhere in the room, and that you just feel great, nothing is wrong. All of a sudden you sit next to someone, or in a doctor's waiting room, or a doctor's office, or whatever. And you suddenly think, hey, I have the feeling. No, it starts that you become very insecure. Or something, but actually you are not at all. That you think, how is this possible? That is possible from the person sitting next to you. You can, if you are very sensitive, you can take over. That is very good if you draw this card that you then, and you would ask such a question. That it could very well be that this is possible. Then again it is important to ground yourself, what I have already said, but also that you say that. You yourself imagine that you are in an egg, and that you place white light around you. Those kind of things. Okay, let's move on. The tree there we were, yes. Yes, I just want to say that the tree is moderately positive. Well, what does that mean? That means he's not super positive. Like, not just positive, but moderately positive. This card is a bit like a chameleon, moving to what do the other cards around it say. Is that negative? Yes, negative. I don't like that word. What is negative? Anyway, those cards are, in this case I use them, if those cards are a bit more negative. Then this tree card will also become a bit more negative. Is there really a lot of positive cards around it? Yes, it will automatically become positive. Then it is all not too bad. Say what will happen. I'll check if I've said everything. Let's have a look. The card, oh yes, I can do that. Yes, I would also like to say that about the tree. This tree, so the card of health, physical health, mental health, which any card you draw for this in the deck you draw. For example, if each card of the deck represents a disease or a condition or a mental illness or physical illness. Personally, as I say, I don't do this myself, but I just want to say that you do, it could stand for something. Do not be very serious about this, especially if you lay the cards in the beginning, because it can have a wrong interpretation. I really want to add that. Always be careful with it. Always be careful with health questions. Even if you do it for yourself. Always go to the doctor, the hospital with any doubts. Anyway, do that. That is anyway, isn't it? If you get a gut feeling like, oh, there is something. Just go and do it anyway. Get started with it. It is not without reason that you often get a gut feeling. I want to say it anyway because it is fun to read cards. That yourself will gain more insight. The tree in your daily life. Well, what I said is that you can get down better if you are too fuzzy. Or if you are tired in your head, the HSP people say. Of course it could have other causes if you've ruled that out in your head. Then it may also be that it is grounding. It could also be, I also regularly take it for myself because I am very with my health, mentally and physically. Really constant. I often draw it for myself. Also, be careful not to go too far to the health side. That you are not only concerned with health. I have to watch out for it myself, you know. That I don't do this all the time, but that I sometimes have a normal life after all that intensive hassle to make myself even healthier, better. Okay, so it can also be a little bit of a warning of, you're too concerned with your health. Especially when he's lying next to you in the grand tableau, you know. It may also be that something is wrong, but it may also be that you are too concerned with your health. That is also not necessary. The card therefore also represents, it can also represent life energy. How is your life energy? Are you tired? Are not you tired? This may be due to a vitamin deficiency. Supplements, minerals, blah. Go to the doctor anyway, what I already say the doctor, vitamin B12, vitamin D, folic acid. Well, at least go to the doctor or health food store, because if you think you're deficient or whatever. To decide this together and make a good start. Together. So I do that myself, together. I'm not going to muddle around alone, we're going to do this together. Okay, he can also stand for life energy. Or this one. There you have it. Well, he can also stand for, are you still comfortable in your own skin? Or is your relationship okay? Don't you quite have the idea? I want to pimp it up a bit. How can your relationship be improved? How do you feel? Go to the doctor with complaints, I already said. Questions about your health. Let's have a look. Yes, the card is also there. I have to say that I myself draw another card for that, but what I read is in a victim role. Which can. For yourself, that could be that you are in a victim role, and that you don't notice it. And that you think the card is right, okay, I'm going to do something about it. Or that someone else, a friend, a relationship is in a victim role. I have to say, I don't usually draw this card for a victim role, but I also want to say something about that. This card is a lot of blah, 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 blah. A lot of food to talk about. This card may represent a victim role. Each card really represents a lot of different meanings. It can be very confusing at first. That is why I always keep asking questions. That I think I'm on the right track, but I want to be sure. That you can exclude things because it can also stand for 20 different things. It really takes some thinking. A victim, yes. Which can. That's what he stands for. I always draw the coffin myself. Not a nice word, but hey, that's there, I always draw it as a victim. It may also be that you draw a different card for a victim role. If this occurs a lot in your interpretation now and you already have something like a victim role very often, and you have such a question or something. And this comes back very often in other all kinds of readings, then it could be that the card with you is a different one. What do you call this? That this is not the tree victim role, but another card for you. That is also possible. The more you start to do readings with the Lenormand, the more enthusiastic you become, and the more it becomes your own. It becomes own. That is the most important with the Lenormand cards. Let's go a little further. Yeah, okay, a lot of pity isn't an option, at least don't. It's nice to be able to move forward again. I can say that, but of course you should be able to feel it. Personality traits, what does that card represent? If you just say that you think, I want to draw a card for the personality of being able to know someone or yourself at least. Then he stands for, you really are someone who cares a lot about his health, as I already said, who does everything to stay healthy. You put energy into how your body works, and you read books about it. You live a healthy life, you adjust your diet, and you can be a health freak, but don't go too far. Personality card, what does this stand for as a person? It doesn't represent a person, no. What kind of work suits you? If you think, I don't know, I really don't know, and you were going to draw a card and ask what kind of work would suit you, then it comes out, for example in nursing, or healing, Reiki, or something like that. Genealogy, because yes, the family tree research. Gardener, that's the other way around. Park ranger. Biologist, plants. Arborist. That is just a selection. There will probably be more. In combination with other cards. If you draw the tree with the scythe and you combine them. Because that is also a point. You can also place them separately, but you can also combine them. If you say in advance, I want to combine the two cards I draw with the scythe. Then you may be afraid and have a fear of getting sick. With the stars, if you draw it with the stars, pursue the wrong goal. Then you know this. Do you draw this card with the dog, a friendship that is not good? Maybe you already thought this yourself and that you can get confirmation. If you draw this with the tower, it is a hospital or a healthcare facility. The tower often represents an institution. And the ring, if you draw it with the ring, a relationship is not right. That is the same as with that dog, actually. But with the dog, is it a friendship relationship? It was a long time this time. But yes, it is possible. I never know that beforehand. I hope you guys there again, if you really enjoyed it. Next time we will continue with card number 6, the clouds. Have a great day and see you next time.